2, 1. Government IT workers by night, persuasion enthusiasts, and verbal cage fighters the rest of the time.
If you'd like to level up your tiny, shiny human brain to God mode persuasion levels, grab your favorite stimulant and prepare yourself for the persuasion hit of the day, the thing that makes everything better, the Persuasion Club podcast. It starts now.
Oh, beautiful song.
I love the music that we picked. I think it's going to be perfect for this show. It just gives it the proper edge for it. How you doing, Steve?
Yeah, doing great, Kevin. Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful weekend. So
I'm going to turn off this thing that we have up here that says pre-show because it's not the pre-show anymore, right? So
this is the live show. I see an after-show party.
An after-show party as well. But yeah, Steve, how was your weekend?
It was great, thanks. Just been trying to relax when I can. Although, lately it seems like all the weekends get filled up with doing necessary things, not necessarily sitting around and relaxing. So it's been good. It's been busy, but here we are doing the podcast. So it feels good to be here.
Totally. I feel the same. I've been putting away Christmas, taking things back to the storage unit, and
yeah, nice.
Kind of jet into the year. So yeah, I think without too much delay, we want to go ahead and get right into the show. I had done a little bit of a recap. I think I'll go ahead and share that that I wrote up. And you could just kind of help fill in gaps if you'd like to, Steve. It'd probably be the easiest thing to do at the moment. The foundations that we laid in that first episode were, well, we kind of called that how the sausage is made episode.
Yes.
Right. And it's kind of like our introduction. It's an audio only podcast. It basically explains the way that we got started, and how we moved from the idea of doing a book club at work to a national podcast. So, yeah, a little bit of a stretch from where we started. It's not on any of the video channels yet, so it's only the audio podcast. You can catch that on some of your favorite platforms like Apple, Amazon, Spotify, pretty much the works. We've tried to get ourselves out there. And in that episode, we got into our first topic of persuasion, which was just kind of random, but we started talking about reciprocation. And that'll be a focus for tonight's episode. We'll get into a bit of that. And this is also a good episode for getting to know Stephen and I, because it's a little bit more hands off, just kind of relaxed chit chat between us, not so much of a format. So check that out if you get a chance. We'll see if we can get that online in some kind of a video format at some point too. So yeah, so stick around for that. Let us go ahead then and share what our topics are going to be for tonight. In no particular order. Actually, we probably will take these exactly in order. Is reciprocation. We'll talk a little bit about the book that we've been reading by Robert Cialidini. You got that book, Stephen?
I got that book.
Awesome. Everybody should have that book. So
yes.
Let me go ahead and flash it up on the screen here. You can see that. Also behind me. Right there.
I see it.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that. And then we're going to also chat about logical argument fallacies, specifically the ad hominem fallacy. And we're going to be doing that in the form of a reaction video that Stephen and I are going to make. All right. What else are we going to talk about? Well, let's see. We're going to do a little persuasion trivia. You got your trivia questions ready for me, Stephen?
Got him queued up. Ready to go?
Excellent. And we might bring in another guest to help me ask Steve his question. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see. And then we're going to get into the Persuasion Duel. So that's the part that's kind of in development. So we're going to explain the concept and then kind of see where that leads. So how does that sound?
That sounds great. You've got me hooked. I'm ready to go. Let's see it.
Okay, cool. I actually had music that I was going to cue us in to the next segment of the show, but we could try this. Roll some. Now, the Persuasion or the Influence book by Robert Cialdini, I described it on our X channel as the gold standard because what happened is when Stephen and I first talked about um, the topic of reciprocation, we kind of went off into our own little corners to see what we could learn about it. And then what happened, Stephen?
Yeah. I came back to you and was like, "Hey, I've been watching some videos. They keep suggesting this book, and I'm oh, what is the title?" And then you were like,
I knew exactly what he had asked about, and I had ordered copies for
"Yeah."
us. So,
I think the thing you said was, "Yeah, that Influence by Robert Cialdini. It'll be here on Monday." It's like,
yeah, because it is. It's just like the one place, and since then I've actually seen it multiple times that this is like the go to book, and so I think that for having kind of discovered it somewhat together and by accident, that's somewhat serious, if you ask me. So that's great. Um,
yeah.
I want to go ahead and talk a little bit about how the topic or the subject of reciprocation works, and then we can kind of do a little toss off between each other, and then maybe even hear from the great master himself, Robert Cialdini. So, um, the reciprocation, just in a nutshell, is a simple social rule that when someone does something nice for you, like gives you a gift or help or a compliment or a naturally feeling that something nice is going to be done for them as a form of a return favor, that's called reciprocation. And basically, there's some rules within that. But as you've been reading the chapter, what are some of the things that have resonated with you, Stephen?
I like how simple reciprocation can start, or how easy it is to start. As simple as something like a handshake, just a compliment or a gift with a little bit of thought behind it. So, uh, those are kind of some of the things that are resonating with how often I'm realizing how often I've used reciprocation, I guess, in the past. When you're going to ask something from someone, maybe start off with a compliment or a gift or something like that. It usually uh, creates this like natural desire to reciprocate, or to, you want to come across as likable and friendly. So uh,
Yeah,
there's been a lot in the book.
that's essentially a really good kind of summary of what that's like. And we probably do it more often than we realize because from what the book is describing, as I'm gathering, is that it's kind of a natural human behavior. It's common among most cultures, the act of giving to another, and the idea that one does not want to feel indebted towards somebody else. So there's this form of repayment that occurs, um,
Yeah.
and it comes from within. I don't know that there's ever been anything that says "Thou shalt." Maybe there is. Do unto others. Maybe, I guess that's maybe
Mhm.
the closest one of the rules. But yeah, I have queued up a description of reciprocation from Cialdini himself. Let's listen.
B, that small first favors often stimulate larger return favors. One important reason concerns the clearly unpleasant character of the feeling of indebtedness. Most of us find it highly disagreeable to be in a state of obligation. It weighs heavily on us and demands to be removed. It is not difficult to trace the source of this feeling. Because reciprocal arrangements are so vital in human social systems, we have been conditioned to feel uncomfortable when beholden. If we were to ignore the need to return another's initial favor, we would stop one reciprocal sequence dead and make it less likely that our benefactor would do such favors in the future. Neither event is in the best interests of society. Consequently, we are trained from childhood to chafe emotionally under the saddle of obligation. For this reason alone, we may be willing to agree to perform a larger favor than the one we received, merely to relieve ourselves of the psychological burden of debt.
Yeah, can anybody else identify with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been in situations like that where it's like I feel like I owe somebody something and I can't get that out of my head.
That's not where you want to be. You do
Yeah.
not want to be in debt.
Yeah, I actually have a story that I was going to share, and I think I did share on the episode that went belly up last week. This is our redo, and I'll go ahead and share it now because it's a good time. What happened was about 3 years or so ago. I had traveled and was out of state, and my wife was driving. I believe she had both the kids in the car, and she was about 4 miles outside of town, 4 miles from home, and got a flat tire. And it happened to be right across the street from a place called the Auto Doctor in Goshen, Oregon. So props to you guys, by the way, because a fellow came out and without question, without any hesitation, put on our spare tire, and she was back on her way and went home and charged her nothing. And so after that, I just thought, hey, I need to stop in and say thank you for doing that. You took care of my wife and my family. I appreciate that. But as things go, I kind of just spaced it, forgot it, but every time I drive by that place, oh, I got to go in there and say something. But then 3 years later, you kind of like, well, it's been a little too long now, right? But it was still weighing on me. I really felt that tug, and so I went and got $50 out of an ATM and dropped it off and say, here, get some pizza, whatever. But thank you for taking care of my wife. And the guy, he wasn't there when I dropped it off, but the owner was, and apparently that's just his way. He does that all the time.
Hmm.
So.
Hmm.
Yeah,
That's
it's
so cool.
strong. It's strong.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy that like something nice almost tortured you for so long, but
Yeah,
but it's only because you meant well. You meant to do something like positive in return, if not just like going and acknowledging and saying thank you. But it almost like tortured you. So it is interesting to think like, hey, that really nice favor is actually kind of torturous for me because I like wanted to come say thank you. So that's an
yeah,
interesting thing that can happen.
for sure. And that to me was a prime example of reciprocation. And reciprocation takes on a lot of different forms. So your basic rule of reciprocation is just talking about how the obligation to repay is there. But then there's also other forms like the uninvited favors, because the uninvited favors that will create a debt. Basically, what happens there is that the rule applies even when the initial gift or favor is liked by the person. So you could come along and ask for something that was not that had initially triggered discomfort, but then when they say no to that thing, the next thing you ask them for being way more comfortable,
Yeah.
They'll, "Oh, yeah, I'll do that." And I think the
Okay.
example in the book was given that they asked people if they would, like, spend a week with some rowdy teenagers for some event, or I might be way off on that, and, like, who would wanna chaperone rowdy teenagers? Hell no, I'm not gonna do that. "Oh, would you spend, like, 2 hours, a day for a weekend?" To do this other thing, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I'll do
Oh,
that," you know.
yes, please, please.
Yeah. So I think I'm analyzing that principle properly. One of the things that apparently that you should do is be the first to give. So don't let somebody do something for you if you're hoping that you might get something out of them, because then you're really going to owe them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, the idea of I think the rejection and retreat, also known as the door in the face technique, is the one where you make that large request first. So I kind of had that backwards, and then the rejected request becomes the concession. So
Mm,
um, those are some of the principles, and concessions are basically when you make that the ask that you really hoped for. So
yeah.
um, now,
That's
for
funny.
example, you go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah. No, did you have the example of that student telling her parents about what was happening with her?
I don't.
Do you remember that example?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
Okay, so but you didn't plan on using it because I thought that it was kind of funny uh, of the
I did.
example. I didn't want to like steal it from you.
I don't think I have that clip lined up. I didn't play that one for you earlier, did I? I did
No, no.
have um, some interesting a clip. Yeah, sorry,
Yeah,
I
let's
didn't
hear
have
it.
that one ready. But yeah,
Oh,
this clip that I'm going to play for you now is about so s- we are, and we'll just kind of be careful how we say this. We are government sector IT employees. Um, as such,
yes.
we try to be a little bit careful about how much information that we give out. But yeah, we know some people, and so when we ran across this particular example from a about a state of Oregon employee, we took interest.
There's nothing more expensive
Oh, that's the wrong clip.
from
This
an
one.
employee for the state of Oregon. The person who used to have my job told me during my training that I would like working for my boss because he is a very nice and generous person. She said that he always gave her flowers and other gifts on different occasions. She decided to stop working because she was going to have a child and wanted to stay home. Otherwise, I'm sure she would have stayed on at this job for many more years. I have been working for this same boss for 6 years now, and I have experienced the same thing. He gives me and my son gifts for Christmas and gives me presents on my
My
birthday.
boss doesn't give me gifts.
It has been over 2 years since I've
Oh, little
reached the
gifts.
top of my classification for a salary increase. There is no promotion for the type of job I have, and my only choice is to take a test with the state system and reapply to move to another department or maybe find another job in a private company. But I find myself resisting trying to find another job or move to another department. My boss is reaching retirement age, and I'm thinking maybe I'll be able to move out after he retires because for now, I feel obligated to stay since he's been so nice to me.
First of all, I have to say I actually have a really nice manager, and I know Steven does too. We're just kind of joking around about that.
Yeah, if we ever joke, it's just a joke.
Just a joke, yeah. But second of all, is think of the power of that, though. That the way that that person's manager um, used the act of reciprocation just by giving small gifts to her and her son caused her to feel like she couldn't leave her job. That's pretty
Yeah,
powerful. Yeah.
that's super powerful. And I wonder, do you think that the boss knew by any chance? Do you think that they thought that they were just being nice and giving gifts? So like while you're here, you feel you're treated well, you're respected, and like that I care. Or do you think that they were like in their head, and maybe not maliciously, but just generally like, okay, if I want my people to stay, yes, I want them to be happy, but like I do want people to stick around. So being nice, giving gifts, that can help people stick around. Do you think that they knew the effect that they had on their employee?
It's hard to say whether that was conscious or not. I know that I have run a business in the past where I've had some employees, and one thing, because we were a young company, we couldn't afford health insurance or any of those things like that, is that we just made sure to give out little gifts, little things like that would be, at least something, that, to make folks happy. I don't know if I never intended for that to be the thing that made them stay, but it may be one of the things.
Yeah. Well, no, that's really cool. I think that's really respectable. And it's just an interesting effect that a gift that you have or the gift that you give for one reason might completely manifest as a different outcome from, to another person or the receiver. So
Absolutely,
it's an interesting story.
Yeah. And the last quote that we'll play, and I hope that Robert Cialidini won't mind that we're promoting him and his book and his audiobook, which is,
I hope not.
is here, but I don't think he'll mind. That there is kind of another part to reciprocation that we need to be aware of. So this is the warning.
There's nothing more expensive than that which comes for free.
Yep. The man said it. The power of reciprocation is just that. It's very powerful. So we'll get more into that in future episodes. But for now, that's kind of where we're at. Hope you enjoyed that segment. And we're going to use that to do our trivia later on. But for the moment, we're going to segue over into another part of the show where we talk about logical argument fallacies. So our first topic is ad hominem. And I don't know, it sounds like a candy bar or something.
Snap into an ad hominem. Yeah.
Yum.
Yum.
What ad hominem is, see if I get this right, is the attacking the person making the argument instead of the argument itself. Does that sound about right?
That sounds about right. And it can be intense.
It can be. And that being said, we have something that we can use to demonstrate that. And we're going to do a little reaction video here while we show you this demonstrated. So let me go ahead and cue. Oops.
Oh, just me.
Oh, my video went away. I hit the wrong button. Yeah, just you. Helps if I hit the right button. Okay, here we go. We had just a little latency issues earlier with this, so I'm really, really hoping that this works now.
Time. This is AM Today. It's 18 minutes after the hour, and time for our daily feature of debate, Count Pointer Count. Once again, here are John Fitzsimmons and Sheila Hamilton.
Well, Sheila, I guess even you and your liberal cronies have found the light at the end of the tunnel of love with our beloved president. The intellectuals have been much agitated, and now, having gotten the presidency by exploiting the problems they themselves had manufactured, he has done his best to fuel their anxieties about him. Sheila, will you and your pack of bleeding heart liberals never learn that expanding welfare rolls only accelerate inflation and inevitably hurt most those they purport to help?
Why, John, you old stick in the mud. I've been listening to that horse shit of yours for months. And you can take crap and blow it out your ass. And for good measure, sit on this, John.
Yeah, that's ad hominem.
Oh man.
Have you ever seen that one?
You know, only in passing. That I've never
That's from the
seen that
Kentucky
movie
Fried
though.
Movie. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kentucky Fried Movie. You
Yeah.
got to check that out sometime. It's I was going to try to play something else here. But it's a movie from I think the late 70s. Same people that made Airplane, Naked Gun movies, all that.
Yeah,
Hilarious.
nice.
It's a collection of like these short little scenes that are kind of spliced together into one movie, and then like at the end there's like a 30-minute kind of feature length Bruce Lee parody. So it's, yeah, you can check that out if you haven't done that. So let's talk
Sounds
a little
great.
bit more about ad hominem. So now that we've demonstrated that, what we saw there, obviously, was the first gentleman, John, had a pretty good diatribe there. I think he probably did a little ad hominem himself, actually. Like, is like, you and your bleeding heart liberals, that feels like attacking, there. Her response, classic. That horse shit of yours for,
Yeah,
but
he kind of deserved that one. Yeah.
Definitely no facts at all in her response whatsoever. Just attacked the arguer. So that's your ad hominem lesson. Logical argument lesson for the day. So
now, as far as the logical argument, what is the logic behind?
Well, that's the segment show. Anything more we want to add on that one?
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you. We are having some issues, but yeah.
Okay.
Keep talking.
No, I was just thinking, what's the logic behind that argument of attacking the person, who's having the count? You're coming at them aggressively and attacking the person instead of the argument. But if we don't have time for that, we can always expand on that later.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. So we could come back to that if we wanted to, but I think we'll go ahead and launch into some of our trivia. So,
all right.
And I have sound effects for these kinds of things too, but
so far the music's been really nice.
Yeah. Well.
Ooh. A tiny bit loud.
Yeah, sorry, man. We'll fade that out. I don't want to overdo it on the sound effects. And then
but sound effects are fun, so I understand.
So let's go ahead and play Persuasion Trivia. What we've done is Stephen and I, we'll get into my questions here in a minute, but we have prepared questions for each other. Let's put it that way. And we're going to see how each other does. So, Stephen,
are you ready?
You can ask me my questions first. How's that?
That sounds good. Now, I'm going to ask you questions that I found, and I have citations, but for the sources, but I'm just going to go ahead and ask you. Let's see if you know, what are the 4 P's of persuasion?
Shit. The 4 P's. Wow.
So the 4 words that start with P that have to, make up persuasion. And whether this is a universally accepted thing or not, I'm not sure, but this is what I found.
Oh, wow. I'm going to tell you right now that I deserve hang on a second here. The damn sound effect isn't working the way that I'd hoped. I get the gong, dude. I don't know the
gong
question.
Well, the 4 P's of persuasion, at least the answer that I found, was power, positioning, performance, and politeness. Those are the 4 P's of persuasion.
Okay. Power, position. What was the next one?
Whoops, I went away from it. Let me pull that back up.
Oh, you didn't have it memorized?
I mean, I totally know. Power, positioning, performance, and politeness.
Performance.
I totally
and
knew that.
Politeness. Okay. Yeah.
I didn't need a reference. Not at all.
All right. Well, give me the next
Okay.
one, man. Let's see where we go.
Okay. What is the first universal principle of influence?
The first universal. Likability.
Ooh, actually, I think you're close.
Okay.
This is from Cialdini's. This is from Cialdini himself.
Yeah. Reciprocation chapter.
Reciprocity. You're right. Woo!
Hey, yeah, I was like,
I mean, you're asking a question, but that's the answer.
I was asking. Yeah. Okay. So for that one. Yeah. I got
Woo!
one.
Good job. Good job. Yeah, I gave that one away. No, I'm kidding. No, you nailed that.
Okay.
Now this is so. Now I think you might get this one. So that was a principle of influence, but what is the number one rule of persuasion? Not Persuasion Club. We know what that rule is.
Yes. The number one rule of persuasion. Oh man. You would almost think that I hadn't read the book, but I listened to the book.
You would have answered this with your first answer last time.
Oh, likability.
Ding, 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 ding.
Oh, wait. No. Yeah. I win this round. I got 2 out of 3.
Wait. So the quote that the answer is the first principle of persuasion is liking or likability. And it's based on the idea that people prefer to work with and support people that they like.
Okay.
There you go. Those are my questions.
Now, you said you had an extra one prepared, did you?
I had a random one, yes, that just in case we had some that were the same.
Oh, okay. I mean, I wouldn't mind if you wanted to throw that one at me just for fun.
Okay. I didn't, because this one it's so similar to all the questions I had, but I was going to okay, well, if one's worded the same, I might pivot. So this is the one I was going to pivot to.
Persuasion doesn't have to be about tricks. It can be about reframe.
Sorry about that. Croc is trying to get in on our...
Grok's going off. But okay, so this is a similar question to the other 3. But what are the 3 pillars of persuasion? What holds up persuasion? The pillars.
3 pillars. I think they start with eco something or something, right?
Ethos.
Yeah.
Yes.
Ethos, but I don't remember the other 2.
So ethos is your credibility and character. Then there's pathos, which is emotional bond with your listeners. And then there's logos, which is logical and rational argument.
Okay. Who knew?
I learned a little looking up these questions. So
and then that's the whole point of Persuasion Club too, is that kind of like in the movie Fight Club, when you first come to Persuasion Club, your ass is a wad of cookie dough. But 3 months from now, you're a lean, mean, persuading machine, right? So you'll be carved of wood. So yeah, I definitely didn't know all of that, even though I had listened to the chapter. I think I might have missed some, so I need to go and give that a re-listen, make sure I do that. And repetition is also one of the principles of persuasion. The more you hear something, the more you start to believe it. So the more that
I believe that
talking about this, the more we're going to get it. And this is way cooler than the book club that we were going to start, right, Steve?
Oh yeah. Yeah, way cooler.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to bring, this was my intention before, and then Grok just got a little bit ahead of itself. Grok, I'm bringing you into the podcast now. Are you there?
Yep, mic's hot.
You're a little loud there, but I'll turn you down. Grok, one at a time, please give Stephen some persuasion trivia questions. True, false, multiple choice, you name it. Let's do 4 of them. And let's make them about reciprocation.
First question for Stephen. True or false? Reciprocation works even when the thing you give away isn't worth squat, like a free sticker from Greenpeace.
I would say true.
True. The sticker costs them nothing, but it works anyway, because it wasn't about the sticker. It was about the feeling of being indebted. Next one. Reciprocation is why people say thank you after you hold a door open for them. True or false?
That's one form of, I would say yes.
True. Exactly.
You win.
The thank.
All right, keep going, Grok.
Third question. When Cialidini went to a coffee shop and watched waiters give extra stuff after the bill, what's the most effective thing to hand out? A second mint, B, a big smile, or C, absolutely nothing?
I'd say a mint, a second mint.
Right answer. And here's the kicker. Giving 2 mints made tips go up way more than 1. Because it's not the value, it's the gesture, the extra effort, the idea of generosity. Makes you want to be generous back.
Cool. You want to do one more?
Let's do one more.
All right. Joe Girard, the car salesman Cialidini raves about, made a killing every year by sending his customers what? A, flowers, B, birthday cards, or C, Christmas cards?
I would say Christmas cards.
I know the answer to this one.
C, Christmas cards.
Close. B, birthday cards. He sent $5 worth of flowers every Valentine's Day, too. But the birthday cards, that's what really sealed the deal. Got them smiling when they weren't even thinking about buying a car.
All right. Well, Stephen, you got most of those right anyway, so I'm going to give you the...
Hey, nobody... So, Stephen, if you ever want to go full Girard, get the birthday date. Not for the card, for the dopamine hit.
Nice. Full Girard. That's good.
We're going to go ahead and put Grok on hold for a second here, but we're going to come back to that when we start getting into the Persuasion Duel.
Got it. I'll be right here.
Thank you, Grok, so much.
So, for our duel.
All right.
So much that when people try to say no, they usually say maybe later.
See, Grok just keeps going.
Grok is out of control. Out of control.
Are you still with me, Stephen?
Yes, sir. I'm still here.
Grok hasn't taken control completely yet. So we're going to go into the next part of the show, which is we're going to talk about persuasion duels. And to get into that topic, we're going to play a little video for you. So let's get to it. Bring this up here. And boom. We're sharing. And here we go.
The first rule of Persuasion Club is you talk about Persuasion Club. The second rule of Persuasion Club is you talk about Persuasion Club. Third rule, if someone stops, concedes, or goes silent, the duel is over. Fourth rule, one persuasion battle at a time. Fifth rule, no scripts, no notes, no teleprompters. Sixth rule, shirts are optional, but mandatory if your torso might distract the room or violate basic decency. Rule, persuasion duels will last as long as they have to. And rule number 8, if this is your first time at Persuasion Club, you have to persuade.
Oh, man. That's good stuff.
Some good stuff for sure. So we've been talking about these persuasion battles for a while now, and we're kind of still hashing out the concept. The way we kind of see it going, potentially, is that we would define a topic at the end of every episode. So that's one per week that we'd give out. And we're thinking maybe we'll even let Grok choose the topic tonight. We'll see. We'll see what it comes up with, see if we like it. And then what we'll do is we'll post about that on the Persuasion Club X account. And your job then is to upload a video. And are we going to cap it 1 minute, something like that? I think is what maybe we're going to do. Or are we going to let people go as long as they want to? Because what we'll do is, well, go ahead.
Uploading, are there limitations to how long of a video you can upload? I mean, 1 to 2 minutes sounds fair.
Yeah. So we'll just see how it goes. I think right now we won't put any parameters around it, but the idea is, and you heard the rules. So you will take the topic, start to make your persuasive argument for that topic, but if you are using teleprompters, if you're using notes, if we, and we'll know. We'll know. Yeah, right. If you're doing any kind of cheating there, we're gonna know, and we'll gong you. You'll be gonged right out. So we got the gong. Okay. And also, if your persuasion argument starts to suck, yeah. So that's going to be the fun. People, as you post your videos on as a comment on our X post regarding the persuasion challenge, comment on your other people comment and like them, and we'll kind of use that as a guide. So we'll take the ones that get liked the most and the ones with the most comments we'll probably feature on the show. And that's the whole idea, is that we're going to take the best of the best, the worst of the worst, and we're going to show them to you on the show. So does that sound like the way we're going to do it? I mean, that's kind
That
of
sounds great.
Think we've been talking about it, but nothing's set in stone. What are some of the more important rules? Oh, if this is your first time at Persuasion Club, you have to persuade. And what does that mean? So if you're watching this show right now, all one of you, no, we got 50. We got 50. Then you have to do it. Go to our X channel after the show and upload a video. That's the rules. And like I said, we'll know.
Yeah, it's a rule.
It's a rule. All right. Do we want to give people an example of what that might be like? I don't know if I'm even good enough to do it myself.
I think there's no other way to learn than to do sometimes. So while I do feel like I might end up flopping, I'm totally down to try it out. Is that what you're insinuating?
I think we need to demonstrate for the people. So let's go ahead and see what we can do. I'll go ahead. Grok, you're part of the conversation again. Give Stephen and I a random topic for which to argue in a persuasion duel.
All right, here's one. Pineapple on pizza. Yes or no? Go.
Okay, so who wants to go first? Pineapple on pizza?
Oh, if you're asking, I mean, it's just you and me. I'll go first.
Yeah.
You want me to go first?
Well, I'm going to say this is kind of an easy one because.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're saying yes is the easy way, then I'll try to do my best to persuade the opposite.
Well, do you like pineapple on pizza?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so do I. I'm one of those. Sorry. Yeah. Okay.
Hard to argue the other way, but try to put yourself in the other person's mind.
So, Grok, I'm going to put you on hold here, and I'm going to ask you to listen to Steven's argument, and then afterwards you can give us a rating. So just stay quiet and listen to Steven. Steven, go ahead and go.
Wait, wait 1 second.
No pineapple.
I'm going no pineapple. That's what I was going to do. Is that good?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Again, and I feel like I hopefully just don't flop this. But so let me ask you, have you ever had a food allergy or a negative reaction to something that you've eaten? I feel like one of the more common things is for citrusy or tropical kind of foods to cause negative reactions in your mouth. And that can lead to like days of not feeling good, having little sores inside of your mouth, something like that. Depends on how your body reacts to citrus and tropical foods. But if you put that on your pizza and you consume that, it could potentially have a very negative reaction. You could be allergic to that food. So you got to be careful, know what you're eating. So for me, if I'm going to a party and I'm hanging out with people, the last thing I'm going to bring is pineapple on pizza. Because what if someone's allergic to that? It's kind of like bringing peanuts onto an airplane, which they do a lot, but there's so many people with a peanut allergy. You have to be careful because those people, they can breathe in dust and almost die if they don't have the right kind of medical attention afterwards. So for me, I like to tell people don't do pineapple on pizza because it can lead to people having a negative reaction. You don't want to kill anybody with your pizza. So be careful. Be careful.
I thought that was
Oh,
excellent, Stephen. So Grok, why don't you weigh in and help analyze that? Let's hear it.
On a scale from 1 to 10, I give it a 4. The logic's shaky, Stephen. Allergic reactions to pineapple aren't pizza-wide epidemics, and even if they were, it's not your job to babysit everyone's taste buds. You used fear, which is good persuasion, but you picked the wrong fear. No one orders pizza scared. They order it hungry. So, if you're gonna win this, maybe scare them with the taste, not the throat closing.
Well, interesting. Well, that's an
Interesting.
Now, give me some of the
I'll take
good
that.
things that came out of that. And are there any particular fallacies to highlight, or any particular good uses of persuasion?
First off, you did land 2 punches. Good ones. One, the whole think about your friend with allergies angle.
Yeah.
That's emotional. Going to crash. Pineapple doesn't turn you into the Grim Reaper, Stephen. And the peanut allergy comparison? Cute, but peanuts aren't topping. That's just misdirection. Works in a courtroom, flops in a pizzeria.
Well,
Fair.
I'm going to say
That's
right
fair.
now that I kind of disagree with Grok. I actually thought your persuasion was doing pretty well, but that's just me. I would have given it more like a 6 out of 10 at the very least. So,
Thank you.
well, and that's because I already know that I'm going to suck.
Hey, you're giving a gift ahead of time, and so we'll see what happens.
All right. So I'm going to go ahead and go with mine.
Okay, let's hear it.
I believe that pineapple on pizza is one of the grossest things ever to exist. I mean, think of all that slimy, juicy, icky stuff getting on your cheese, soaking your bread and your pizza. Ick. I wouldn't want that. I would imagine that most people would equate pineapple on pizza to putting shit on pizza. So yeah, don't do it. That's it.
Good one.
Just yelling.
I'm just yelling.
Loud doesn't win. A whisper right next to disgust works better. You almost had it. Just needed volume control.
Oh, well, I'm pretty close to my microphone, and we are doing a podcast here. So give me a break, Grok.
Turn it
Come
down
on,
just a
Grok.
hair. You're hot.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Just breathe.
well, you never know. I mean, Grok might know exactly what's going on here. Yeah, I'm a little hot, but anyway. So that's the idea of the persuasion duel. I don't know any other way to demonstrate that other than what we just did, but do it way better than we did it. And upload your video. So we'll post that after the after show, so that people will know what the challenge of the week is. So does that sound good? All right. So
That sounds good.
We're going to go ahead and get close to drawing the show to an end here. And before we do, and this is kind of a special tribute that I wanted to go ahead and make to the professor of persuasion himself, Mr. Scott Adams. I actually started reading Scott Adams. I was reading Dilbert in the 90s. The Dilbert cartoon and the Dilbert principle were essentially our Bible at Semantic Corporation. I laughed myself silly when I was reading the Dilbert principle. One of my favorite quotes from the book was this part about pretending to work, or maybe even beef up your performance evaluations. I can't remember exactly. But it went something like this. If all you did in your if all you did this year was to sit in your cubicle and masturbate, dress it up with the latest buzzwords. Say you're a self-starter and who has proactively re-engineered your personal workflow to achieve maximum personal productivity. That I was just dying laughing. I would read that and just giggle under my desk sometimes. But why I was under my desk, I don't know. But anyway, I was an employee for the city of Eugene's IT department, where I'd hang Dilbert comics in prominent locations in the department that reflected current happenings. And somehow, I don't know how you knew, Scott, but somehow you always knew what was going down at work. Your cartoons are always spot on. So and then my manager would come along and rip it down. Who did this? So, and then I found a copy with Scott Adams, the podcast, about 3 years ago, right about the time that Scott got canceled. So my 15 seconds of fame was when Scott actually quote tweeted me as I had made a prediction that when all of the hustle, bustle, whatever, fog of war of the canceling was over, that more people would realize that Scott helped heal the racial divide and not make it worse. People just didn't know it yet. I think that's true, and I think that's played out. Then I continued to listen to the podcast, and I learned a lot from Scott Adams, training my brain and how I thought about the news. So the whole fog of war, 48-hour rule, be sure not to dive right onto the bandwagon as people start arguing about the latest news, because most of the time we just don't have all the facts or all the information yet. How to spot fake news, how to spot the designated liars, how to spot media hoaxes, and the whole concept of the hoax funnel. He also taught us about when things seem a little too on the nose. So sometimes when you're listening to the news and it just seems a little too perfect. The 25% rule. Any given survey that's out there about any particular topic, there's always going to be at least 25% of the people that just think the wrong way or get some stupid answer. And it's true, it's really weird, but if you look at surveys almost all the time, there's always a group about 25%. And then he also taught us about being wary of news from anonymous sources. So if you don't have all of the information about where the story is coming from, also knowing who the topic is, not necessarily what it's about, tells you a lot. He taught us about Rupar edits. He basically taught us that all the fact checkers are fake. He taught us about 2 movies on one screen. He taught us who the smart people are and who are the good people to follow, like Jay Plemons, the Cure of the Dawn, Owen Gregorian, and so many others. He taught us about complicated prediction models and basically how most data that means anything is pretty much fake. So that having been an analyst himself, Scott Adams knew pretty much that data's fake. There's nothing real. It's just how you want to interpret the data. And then he also warned us about the documentary effect. Anytime that you watch a documentary and you're getting an hour and a half or whatever of information that's all on one side, yeah, you're gonna start to believe that thing. So be careful of the documentary effect. He also taught us about loser think. He taught us about systems over goals. He taught us about persuasion over facts and laundry list persuasion. And he taught us about the high ground maneuver. And he taught us affirmations and reframing. He also taught us that the government can't survive on real news. And most of all, Scott was our internet dad. So anyway, Dr. Drew and Greg Gutfeld on this morning's Coffee with Scott Adams were speculating on who might fill that gap when Scott's time has finally come. And the answer is simple. No one person can really do what Scott did. Scott's talent stack was unique. And so for that, I would say that it's my belief that we are all Scott Adams, and Scott Adams is us. And it'll be kind of like Charlie Kirk and the Charlie Kirk effect after he was tragically shot and killed. It'll be many people who will step in to fill that gap, and we'll each play our part in keeping the Scott Adams legacy alive. I totally think that when his biographer puts out his book, that it should be called Scott Adams, Professor of Persuasion, or more aptly, How Scott Adams Saved the World. I got to tell you, actually, real quick, a little story of my own. Scott Adams had the reframe in the book. Let me take this off. The alcohol is poison. And about 3 years ago, I had been going through something where my gut just wasn't feeling good when I was drinking alcohol. And I think it was just because I was going through a particularly stressful time. And but after the stress was over, I could have just started drinking again, I think. But by that time, I had already heard that reframe that alcohol is poison. And so I just decided not to drink anymore. So Scott, you get the credit for 3 years of sobriety. So that ain't nothing. And, I will tell you, there's a lot of people out there who have utilized that particular reframe. I would say it's probably in the thousands, and if not tens of thousands of people who have used that reframe to stop drinking. So that's an amazing thing. Anyway, I think that we'll just do a quick little sip for Scott. And this is our tribute to Scott. We hope the Persuasion Club will make you proud, my friend. So,
cheers.
Cheers. All right. Well, that's going to be pretty much it for the show. Let's recap everything that we talked about. So
All right.
we talked about reciprocation and did a bit of a deep dive on that. I learned a lot. We did our persuasion. Then we talked about logical fallacies. Learned about ad hominem. We did our persuasion trivia. Steve rocked it. He wins this round.
Stop. Stop.
That was great, man. Yeah. And then after that, we talked about persuasion duels and how that's going to work. And we'll just see how that goes. So be sure to go to our X account and look for our post. Shortly after the show, we'll post that. And you'll have 1 week to upload your video, and we'll feature the best and the worst on the show. And let's see. And lastly, we ended with that nod to Scott Adams. So
nice.
Now, my memory card on the podcast unit actually was full, so we missed a little bit in the end, but we're ready to end the show. And then for folks, after the show, we're going to do our after party. So that is just going to be right here on this same video. We're not going anywhere. This is free for now. We're going to give you a link so you can join the Rumble channel and be part of the after party. If you want to turn your video or microphone on, we can do that. We can answer questions and all that stuff. But that is the after part of the show. And for now, we're going to bid you farewell. So thanks for everything, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. That was good stuff.